Hey, hey, folks, I had to start a brand new stream back over. There we go, fixed it. Now that one works. I don't know what happened the first time.
Who knows what? It's a computer. It's a computer system.
Yeah. Computer thing. I was on Pink Slab last night.
You were?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like to watch her.
Yeah, when I was on Julie's briefly, my son was having problems all day yesterday, so I wasn't even on YouTube at all. I would every so often check and see what was going on, but that's about it. That's as far as I was able to get. But other than that, I'm hearing it today. He's in a better mood. Falling. There we go.
Well, I'm a great uncle now. My little niece had a baby.
Oh, she did?
Yeah. Doing good, but it's real tired. The little baby was 9 pounds and 10 ounces.
Oh my goodness.
This of course, had been born February the 16th, but he was a little bit late coming.
Okay.
So he's born like the other day. And then my sister-in-law let me know about him. He's real cute. I'm in the hospital. They're just checking him, make sure he's, okay.
Yeah.
Was my my sister-in-law is a nurse, so baby nurse takes care of babies. That's the thing in have. It's a nursing family.
Oh, you know how I said that Dollar Tree also has cotton yarn besides the acrylic?
Mm-hmm.
I was able to find some.
Oh wow! I didn't do that 5 to 5 thing when I had time, so my sister-in-law could take me to the factory.
Well, they're kind of like the Christmas colors because that's what they have. They haven't gotten their spring cotton in yet, but I'm going to make some dish towels or hand towels or whatever you want to call them. But they're it's like
what?
This is like special yarn that just Dollar Tree has. It's the weave marl color.
pretty
Those
yarn.
red and maroon.
Mm-hmm.
I like it, but it's pretty much like Premier Home Cotton. I don't know. You probably don't know about that one, but it's a really nice cotton polyester blend. It's really soft. Works for like anything from the kitchen to you can wear it because it's so soft.
It looks like it would be soft.
Mm-hmm.
Like it could make like I wish I could crochet. I'm good minded start seeing if there's a beginner's kit crochet and I'll let it do that.
Yeah.
Probably make washcloths if I wanted to.
Yeah, washcloths are like the easiest. They actually, what you're supposed to start crocheting
Mm-hmm.
with is a washcloth. Don't do what I did. I made a basket for my first project.
Oh, it,
Like I dived right in, you know. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it not how you're supposed to do it. The saying goes, you know, you can't do it right the first time, then don't do it. I guess if I failed at the basket, then that would have been the end of my crocheting repertoire. Then I don't know what I would have done.
Now go on Kelly's Crochet Adventures.
Yeah.
I usually like to watch her, and then she has somebody else up there too that's doing crochet. Just recently, I started watching Granny D.
Mhm.
She's real sweet.
Yeah.
They all call me Marky Mark, Funky Bunch. I had Bob Ross wig on, they would call me Baby Bob Ross. Baby Bob Ross. I'm like, okay, thank you. Sister, I think that's so funny. They call me Baby Bob Ross. And that's what they call me. Baby Bob Ross.
And the thing is, if people aren't in a certain age group, they wouldn't understand who Bob Ross
Yeah.
is.
Oh. I still watch him too.
I know he's on public television sometimes. I think they even have him on Netflix now.
Yeah, I saw him on something else too, and I forget where it was. But during that winter storm that we had,
Yeah.
we lost power. So that day, I was over my brother's house, and he said, "Hey," he said, "I have something I want to show to you." I said, "You do?" He said, "Yeah." So he found Bob Ross on some TV network, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a Bob Ross channel. I'm like, "Oh my goodness!" I'm like, "Hey, leave that on there for a few minutes." He left it on. He started watching Bob Ross and started liking him. He said, "Bob Ross he was a nice man." I said, "Yes, he was. Very nice man." Part two too.
Yeah. You know how like he always banged his paintbrushes on his easel?
Yeah.
There was a story about him that his son put out that like when he was in the studio, like
Mm-hmm.
people literally stayed away from him when he was banging his paintbrush because it would splatter all over, and didn't always get all the paint out of the
Mm-hmm.
paintbrushes, so he would have splattered paint all over, and they didn't the floor. So the floor had like a layer splatters,
Mm.
and it was like his son goes, if we could cut out the concrete, cut out the floor, it would be a work of art in itself.
And to that, I used to get his newsletters a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Now I saw one. It looked like the studio was kind of fairly small, but on camera it looked like it's real big. But they had like black curtains
Mm-hmm.
on the side, so I guess that kind of blocks out the sunlight or something coming through the studio.
Yeah.
But I asked him when I talked to him that day, when he called me for the first time, or when I talked to him, I said, "Can I get on your show and do a painting?" He said, "Yes." He said, "I would love you to get on my show." He said, "But I had to talk to somebody first to get you on." But I never did. I
Mm-hmm.
think that he had cancer like he did.
Yeah.
I like him though. Like him. He was just a good friend to me. And he loved those animals,
Yep.
squirrels and stuff. Not where I am. My brother started to have skunk skunks coming up to him. You know,
Okay.
one night he thought he was patting a cat, and patting this thing, and he says, nice kitty. He said, Mark, he said, I looked down, and he said I was patting a skunk instead. And his wife says, don't, she said, now if you get sprayed, she said, don't come in the house. She said, you have to go sleep in one of the vehicles. Don't come in the house, smell like that. I'm like, oh no, please don't. I don't even want to open up my windows and smell that.
We live on the back of a creek. It's
Mm-hmm.
more like a drainage ditch, more so than anything. But during spring and when it's raining, it's like completely roaring. It looks like Niagara Falls because it's the water's running through it so bad. But one night I was up with my son, and there's a field right behind on the other side of the creek, and there was coyotes running. And it's like, well, living in the city and have coyotes coming through.
That's like here where I am.
Mm-hmm.
um, you can hear coyotes sometimes. I haven't heard them in a long time,
Mm-hmm.
but you can hear like it's off in the distance that you can hear those coyotes.
Yeah.
Just a howling or whatever they're doing.
We have a barn owl that is roosting in a tree by our house. So a certain time of night, you can hear it hooting.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, that's like out here.
or we have to deal with a fat raccoon that likes to get in your trash cans.
Oh my.
You know, I don't eat game meat, but I would take care of that raccoon if we see him, because he terrorizes the neighborhood. He like goes through everybody's trash and dumps it all over the yard and all over the driveway. It's a pain in the butt. There's like And then we have this pesky rabbit that killed our grass.
Oh,
I'm like, it's brand new grass last spring, and he already killed it. It's dead. No way to have it come back. I'm like, we just planted that, and it's dead already. Thank you, rabbit.
and probably was not Bugs Bunny either.
No, it wasn't. It was a little
It was,
thing.
mm,
At least Bugs Bunny stayed healthy. This one was
yeah.
fat and barely hops. Like, so we ended up getting a motion sensor light, and then because yeah, we live in the city, but we're in like an SID. So if we have um, like our humane society won't come out and get rid of like pesky rodents or anything like that. That's pretty much what raccoons and rabbits are, and possums and are considered, and they won't come and take care of them because we're not in city limits. And they're like, well, if they're a problem, you can take care of them yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, thanks. Just what I want to do is go hunting for a pesky animal. But, oh well. As long as it's not a possum like my parents have, they get possums every so often, and it literally growls and hisses at my parents' dog.
Speaking of hissing, so I went to a museum one time with my Sunday school class,
Yeah.
and so on the inside, I wasn't so bad. I was enjoying looking at the displays and stuff, but some of them went outside, and then I
Mm-hmm.
decided to go outside myself. And when I did, there was an alligator like uh, outside, and he was in his pen, but he got out of his pen, and when he got out of his pen, I thought he was just sitting there, as a display. But then he's trying to start chasing us, and he start that hissing noise, and he start growling. I'm like, I'm going back inside. I'm like, I'm going to tell the Sunday school teacher, hey, talk to the museum officers and get that alligator settled down because I don't want that thing hissing at me. The museum official says, well, he said, he gets out in his pen every now and then. And Sunday school teacher said, she said, yeah, but I don't like it hissing at my Sunday school class. He said, well, he just gets out his pen every now and then. I'm like, you need to control that alligator.
If he gets out of his pen every so often, obviously their safety precautions for that alligator aren't working.
Mm.
So, which means that they can actually get in trouble if that alligator gets out and it hurts somebody because they're responsible for that alligator.
I was back then when I went to that place. I thought to myself, I said, "Ooh, I should have just stayed in the museum and just look at the displays." Like enjoying the displays better than I did that alligator out there in the pen, kissing at people. Like, no. Almost did a 4-hour live stream the other night.
Really?
Yeah, it came real close doing a 4 hours live stream. I didn't get through until about 2 a.m. in the morning.
Jeez.
because I had a panel up.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
oh man, I looked up. I'm like, oh wow, I get to bed. Put the pen on and said, hey, I said, 2 a.m. here where I am. I said, oh yeah, I got to bed. Didn't realize that
Well,
I can have 10 people up, but
yeah, if you
geez,
pay for StreamYard, you can have more people. Like, I don't pay for StreamYard. Well, I'm kind of
mm-hmm,
glad I didn't because I haven't been able to use it.
right.
I can only have up to 6 people on a panel.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Um,
yeah, I did that. I did that one time.
mhm,
Hmm. But now I have that. I had that. I think of that. They have different ones you can have.
mhm.
So I had that one that package like what Peak Motivation all of them had that $25 one.
Yeah.
So that's the one I'm on right now. I like that one a little bit better because I can maybe it can help for watch times, watch hours.
Yeah.
Trying to get them up there.
Yeah, I ended up, like I said, I barely had my phone on to YouTube yesterday.
Mhm.
Um, and then I went to bed early. My son crashed early, so I went to bed.
Mm.
I was like, I'm tired. I can't keep the 2 1 a.m. stuff getting
Mhm.
up and then sleeping during the day. I was like, he stayed up longer, so he woke up at like a halfway decent time today. So I was like, oh yay, I get to sleep in, kind of. Okay, so this is the dishcloth so far. Wait, I don't. It's a pretty good
Mhm.
size
Yeah.
towel because it's
Mhm.
the width. So that's it folded in half, and it's a textured stitch. So I have a double and a single rotating. So you can't really see it because of the color of the yarn,
Right. I
but
like that. I like the color though. It's real pretty color.
yeah. Not my daughter's home. Yep, she's home. Had to look at the
Mm.
time. But hold on.
Sure. Here.
Sorry, I had to mute because my daughter just came home and she was showing me all her school papers.
Change my shirt. It's starting getting warm. Ooh, I'll take that hot shirt off and put me on another one.
Freight train.
Yeah, that's my train clock.
You don't need a calculator, you need a calendar.
Hmm.
Here you go. Don't touch it on there, that's magnet. This is magnet. My daughter decided that she does not like school lunch, only pizza for school lunch, so now she's gonna figure out what day she needs to take her lunch and what day she doesn't.
Hmm.
The whole social distancing thing is getting ridiculous. Her class has been eating in the library since
Library.
this school year started.
That is ridiculous.
What is day is supposed to?
Don't talk out loud, babe.
Hmm.
But yeah, they have them spread out. There's some classes, some grades are in the gym, some kids are in the library, and some kids are actually in the computer lab.
Oh my.
Yeah,
Eating their lunch.
eating their lunch. Bad
That is
when you have to
ridiculous.
spread them out like that.
It is.
Well, stuff is kind of getting back to normal.
Is it?
You're gonna use shelf markers.
Oh, wow. You can actually use library shelf markers. Cool. It's like they had to they wanted a book, they had to ask the librarian for it, so she had to go get it. And then if they didn't want that book, then it had to be disinfected.
Oh wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Well, they were trying to keep the kids safe, but that's extreme. Like, the kids really didn't want to go to the library because they couldn't really find a book.
Yeah, that's like that's like when I went out to the fair last year.
Mm-hmm.
And one always played the balloon darts at the fair.
Yeah.
And so what one like a stuffed toy, stuffed animal.
Yeah.
Of course I had gloves on and wear
Mm-hmm.
my mask. But my sister-in-law had told me, she said, hey, she said when we get back home, she said, I will sterilize the everything for you. And so that's what they'll do. They'll sterilize. If they go to the grocery store, they'll sterilize everything.
Sorry. Hold on. I'm gonna find. Hopefully, I have the school district app on my phone. So.
Hey, Jessica. Jessica Foster. How you doing?
I missed somebody. There we go. Hi, Jessica. Sorry, I'm a little behind.
That's right. You are good.
You want March, right?
Yep.
Breakfast, lunch.
Lunch.
You're knocking my books down. So- Dollar Tree
Mhm.
had this art caddy that you're supposed to be
Uh-huh.
able to put like paintbrushes and pencils in. I'm using it for my crochet hooks.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah. And even the slots, like you can put more than one pencil or paintbrush in each slot.
I mean, if it's good, I can have it.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I try and find some fun stuff there sometimes.
See?
Okay. I'm good. How are you? I'm doing good, Jessica. Thanks for asking.
Why, don't you, if you're having home lunch, why don't you just write?
It's your hubby.
That yellow is pretty. Pretty yellow. Oh, I'm supposed to be walking that. Yep. Okay. Oh, there I am. Right there. Lose my place where I'm supposed to be at. What are you working on, Jessica?
Where was I?
Sorry, my husband called. But if you couldn't tell by the ringtone, he was just checking up to see how things are going with my son and all that.
No. No.
Stop.
Mm.
You're not an iguana.
This Foster says, what are you working on?
Oh, sorry. It's gonna be a hand towel or a dish towel, and the yarn is this, and it's the Just Collar Tree, but it's Premier's Home Cotton. That's what it is.
This thing I'm covering reminds me of that bird, what they call the peacock. How
Yep.
his feathers stands out and everything. So
Yeah.
reminds me of.
Go hang it up in the closet.
Monday glasses.
Hmm?
Monday glasses. Taking my glasses.
Shoot, I forgot about that. Uh, Thanks, Jessica. Sorry, I'm a little slow at trying to do more than one thing at the same time. It's not quite working out for me today. My brain's a little slow today, I think. I'll be right back. I have to go check on something.
All right. Okay, I'm still covering this. Plus, two, I'm working on something else myself. I'm working on a cross stitch type part that I started. I might put that in, in the live stream. Yeah, I have to find it, and if I do, then I'll do a little bit on my live stream. But I want to show y'all what this is. Okay. I'm gonna hold this up. This is one of my favorite things I like to read. And you can see that. That's what it says right there. Use that. Green. Green.
So how's the weather where you're at, Mark? Has it gotten nicer finally?
Yeah. Of course, it turned out to be warm today. So last night been probably in the 40s or 50s. But I don't think I had to worry about the cold temperatures like that. -3 below zero again. Today,
Isn't it
extreme.
weird? Like 2 weeks, a 2 week period, and we're already like in the 40s, 50s, 60-degree weather in just 2 weeks, and we were on below sub-zero temperatures.
Yep.
It's so the weather is so messed up lately.
Somebody had an earthquake too somewhere. So I think I saw it on Google or saw it somewhere. Yeah, how big the earthquake was. I said it's a 7 something.
Really?
Yeah, I can't even forget. It's probably one of those islands I can't even pronounce. And it's so hard I can't even pronounce it.
There was an earthquake in New Zealand.
New Zealand, that's it.
They had an 8.0 earthquake. Actually,
Strong.
they're saying 8.1. That's what they think. And then Hawaii's on a tsunami watch.
That usually comes right after those things, I guess.
Yeah. Well, at least they're giving the heads up a lot sooner now with it, so everybody can get up to higher ground. Because when the water recedes, they don't have that much time to get higher.
Right. I knew it was somewhere. I was, I think I was checking my viewers or something, and I thought I saw that on Google. Something like, oh, I gotta check that out. Or I think I went to the web thing. Something.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, I just looked it up briefly. Google search is great.
Yeah, I like it when I ask the Google Assistant something. If I need, how to spell a word or something, so to tell me how to spell the word correctly. Ooh, thanks, Google. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm a terrible speller. So I completely understand that. I use Google all the time to tell me how to spell something.
Yep. Same here.
So
my sister-in-law can help me too, but she's not around all the time. She's working or something.
Yeah.
And I don't want to disturb my brother because he might be, getting ready to pastor at the church or something, and I don't want to. Are you working on sermons or something like? Well, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Google is real good.
I used to like have one of those things that were like those spell checkers. I don't know if you remember
Yeah.
them. They were like those little box type things that had like
Mhm.
all the letters on it. And it was a spell checker, but it also had like hangman and that.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. 'Cause
I
that
mean,
Hangman before years ago on
yeah.
web TV, that was fun to do.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
that
about
was like
that.
the thing is like that was like your traveling dictionary because it also did
Yeah.
definitions too, I think, if I remember right. It did like everything that like a dictionary would do. But the thing is
Mhm.
you had to type it. So you basically almost had to spell it correctly in the first place to get it right.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That was always hard for me.
Uh-huh.
That was always hard for me trying to spell it correctly.
Go figure, I dropped a chocolate chip. Okay, where did it go? I don't want it melting on my bed. Okay, I don't see it. It's not on me. I don't know where it went. It's a mystery. The runaway chocolate chip.
Anyway, chocolate chip.
Yep.
And that reminds me about my mom. Every time it would come around Halloween, of course, I don't do Halloween stuff anymore. So one year I was going to do it for the trick or treaters.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom used to love chocolate. And so, we would go to the store and buy those bags of candy. And so I would have somebody, helping me in the garage where I was. Time I had a friend helping me as well. They used to do stuff with the kids. And then on the night before I would go out there, or the night I would go out there, my mom says, "Son," I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "Can you bring that bowl of candy to me?" I said, "Sure, Mom. I'll be glad to bring it to you." My mom would take out like a handful of it, and she said, "Here, son." She said, "Here's the rest of it. Now you can take it out to the trick or treaters." And she just put it in her lap, and she sit there. I'm like, "Okay, Mom. I'll get out the rest of it." She said, "Son," she said, all those trick or treaters not gonna come up and want that candy, be extra candy." I said, "Yes, ma'am, I know." I don't, I don't do it anymore, but I used to, but I quit.
Do the trick or treating.
Yeah, but I used to do some stuff for the kids in the neighborhood where I once was. I used to do little type fun houses type stuff for them, and then I would have somebody, helping me while I was doing it, and then
Uh-huh.
we was doing it on one night, and my friend used to help somebody else do the same type thing. And so I asked my friend that night, I said, "Would you help me do it?" He said, "Sure, I'd be glad to help you." I said, "Oh, cool, that'd be great." And then on at night, so I had a fog machine.
Mm-hmm.
and had some spooky music. Well, I mean, like the sound effects was so spooky. I'm like, I just don't know if I can handle this. And so we start that fog machine up, and the garage filled up with the fog, real thick, and then you couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
And then had these I had these kids come by, and I don't know how it came about, but I was in costume, and
Mm-hmm.
then some of the kids got so frightened until they started to run over stuff in the garage,
Oh
and then
no.
I'm like, I don't think this is a very good idea, dear, idea. And then my friend says, hey, he said, you better hurry up and get them their candy. I had those kids running everywhere, and you can hear them down the street. And I'm like, okay. I thought this stuff is not for me no more. But my friend did a bang out of that day. He thought that was hilarious. These kids are running over stuff in the garage. So funny that. But yeah, I don't do that stuff anymore. I mean, I used to do it at the church too, but
Mm-hmm.
the church where I used to go to, they used to do that, put a trunk or treat type thing.
Yeah.
So it would get the kids off the streets, so they would come to the church. And so
Yeah.
my brother used to I used to be a mascot, and
Mm-hmm.
what a mascot was, for me to put on a costume, and I put a costume on one night, and I was like a rabbit. So I had to go around the whole church with a rabbit costume on, and then we do it for vacation Bible school.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I did for vacation Bible school was the rabbit one time, and I had to put that costume like right over my clothes and come hot. Woo, I was hot. But, I was enjoying myself until one of the kids hit on the top of the head of the rabbit. I'm like, oh man, I hope that don't hurt my ears. I guess he's just having a good time, and his head on top of the rabbit's ears. I'm like, okay, like. And then if I was sitting down or something or standing up in the
Mm-hmm.
church, the little kids would come up and just hug me. And then I would start getting the feeling like, someone's talking to me like, hey, let, let those little kids just come up and just hug you, Mark. Just let them come up and hug you. So I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll just let them and have little ones coming up and they're putting their arms around me. And sometimes I had to bend down. And it's good rabbit shoot to bend down so little ones can love you. Well, that was so sweet for a little kid to do that.
Yeah. Somehow when we moved from our apartment and put everything in storage and then we moved in with my parents, somehow we lost all our hand towels. I think we only have one left.
Mm.
Like, where is stuff?
Me.
It was one of those days that I didn't pack, so who knows where it ended up.
Missing of the lost hand towel washcloth.
Oh, we have plenty of washcloths. It's just the hand towels are missing.
$10.
Whatever. All I know is I'm not getting my towels from Dollar Tree again. I got some towels to match,
Mhm.
like my hot pads and that I got there, because I really like them. They're really nice and heavy duty hot pads.
Mhm.
And I use the towels, and it literally spreads the water around. It doesn't soak up the water at all. So I'm like, this isn't working.
No. Yeah. Yeah,
Like it,
I got some pot holders too from the Dollar Tree. Not recently, a few years ago. Got some that look like a baker on it, real
oh,
pretty.
okay. Yeah, I remember that series.
Yeah, those are really pretty. I haven't done that. What I'm supposed to. Someone tagged me to on Pete Motivation channel to do
Yeah.
the Dollar Tree thing, but I haven't had time because Sister still where she is, and I thought, I can't. I would like to.
Yeah, I don't get to Dollar Tree that often. Trying to remember the last dish that I did. Crap, this put it. I think we lost Jessica.
I think we did too. I'm going to get one watching. It must be, like you said, it must be a computer thing.
I think the one that's watching is me because I have it running in the background on my computer, just muted, so that way you're still getting hours.
Yeah, my watch hours in. When I go live again tonight after Pink, I'm sure she'll probably do what you call raid because
Yeah.
started raiding me last night. Was on her channel, and she said, right, like it was 10 o'clock, and she said, Mark, Mark, she said, are you going live? And she started doing the hen single, so I'm like, yes, I'm going live. I'm doing those lives.
Yeah. I need to start filming again and at least putting up some simple like tutorials or something like that. Again. And now since I have my phone stand, it should work a whole lot better.
Yeah.
I won't have to prop my phone on a bucket and try to film me crocheting. That was fun.
I don't know if my mom ever done crochet or not. But I do know she used to do that cross stitch type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I kind of started getting an idea about her. And then making pot holders too, because I did the pot holders in school.
Yeah.
They just didn't teach me how to take it off the loom. That part may be a little hard for me. That's why my sister-in-law has to do it for me.
Wow, this is a busy towel. Like,
Wow.
it's a busy towel. It's like by the time I'm also crocheting a cardigan that I've been like crocheting like forever, and by the time I get it done, it's going to be too hot for me to wear it. Because, and it's a pattern that I'm working on, so it's like I got projects that I'm doing patterns on, and it's like I can only do so much of it at a time before your brain shuts down and you can't think counts. And it's like then you have Dana who's like copying out patterns after pattern after pattern after pattern. I'm like, I just want 2 of my patterns done. 3 maybe. 3 would be great.
It would be great.
No, my luck, no one would buy my pattern anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But oh well. You win some, you lose some.
True.
And tomorrow I'm going to be spending time sewing on Girl Scout patches for my daughter.
Daughter?
Yeah, my daughter's a Girl Scout. So
Oh,
I have to sew on her patches because she's doing a mini cookie booth through Grubhub. So she has to go to the council office. So she has to have her Girl Scout vest. So I have to finish sewing on her patches. With the virus, I haven't really, felt that I needed to sew on any of her badges. Oops. You're kind of like me, Mark. You can't stay with one project until it's done. You have to switch.
when the project is doing.
I'm like, when people are like, oh, I have in crochet, it's called a whip, so it's work in progress.
Mhm.
And they're like, oh, I have 10 whips going, and I'm like, I have technically 3, but I have 4 if you count all the granny squares that I'm making for with the acrylic yarn from Dollar Tree, so I can make a blanket out of those. But other than that, it's like I don't have many. It's like I don't want to keep starting a project and then, especially with crochet, if you keep starting a project,
Mhm.
then they won't get done. I'm afraid that it won't get done. But then there's like some that says you should finish the one project that you're working on
Mhm.
and not go to a next one. It was like, if I did that, I don't know what I would do because I have a ton of projects stuck in my head. I want to do this and I want to do that. I want to do, this.
I won't do that.
You know? I also sew and I do crafts type stuff. So it's like, what could I do? I mean, I could show people how to quilt something because I still have to finish quilting my son's quilt that I made him.
Mhm.
But like, who wants to watch me quilt going up and down and trying to shove this big, huge queen size blanket through a sewing machine? Because it's one of the stitching pattern that I'm using is just really simple. You can even tell that it's quilted because of how it's interesting, to say the least.
Mhm.
I am having issues with my stitch count. Okay. I got off somewhere. Ay, ay, ay. Where did I get off? Maybe I did at the beginning. Oh, it's different on the computer versus my phone. I actually get the ticking clock that says how long you've been on.
Mhm. And I've been on about an hour.
Yep. Hour and 11 minutes.
Last night I've been on probably about. Last night I was doing the stream. I was about 2 hours in the live stream yesterday.
That's unreal. That's crazy. I think I would go nuts like after so many hours, especially if you like spend like the first hour just talking to yourself.
I
You
did
know,
that. I did that. I did that all the time.
you spend like the first hour talking to yourself, and you're like,
Yep.
"What's the point?"
What's the point in this? What's the point in
Wow,
all this?
everybody's on right now. Like Julie's on and Dana's both on. Sheesh. Everybody's live today.
Oh, they are.
It's like Julie and Shirley are crocheting, I think, and Dana's doing her normal craft hour thing. But
Yeah.
everybody's on. One problem about everybody being family to everybody is you have to like pick who you want to be. whose channel you want to go to, unless you have 20 devices to hit everybody at the same time.
I don't have that many.
Either do I.
I only have this one tablet.
I have my computer and my phone, and my tablet sometimes works for live to watch on YouTube, but not always. It's kind of picky. It likes to crash more than anything.
Hold on. That's like
So, and normally I try, if I do a live, I try and jump on somebody's live that I try and at least try to use my computer so that it's the camera's up higher, and I don't have to like prop up like yarn cakes to hold my phone
yeah.
so that it's high enough. But I'm probably gonna have to go soon because I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna make for dinner, because I have to count how many carbs I have in dinner and how much sugar I have in dinner for my husband. So he just got diagnosed with diabetes, so his diet became my diet, which I'm fine with. Maybe I can lose some weight and be a little more healthier. So, and then I go and eat cookies.
Nothing wrong with that.
I know, right? I'm like, cookies sound good, right? I think my numbers are off. I think I missed a stitch somewhere. Oh. All right, I'm stopping. My hand hurts.
I start getting a cramp in my hand. The worst thing is if I'm at night, I'll get a cramp in my leg.
Oh, okay.
That'll get me like right out of the bed. And then I have to try to allow pressure on my leg. I'm like, oh wow, this is not good.
Mm-hmm.
Like that really hurts.
I got arthritis or tendonitis or something in my hand, and then I literally did my foot in on Monday. So I'm like, I can't sit how I normally sit on the bed. So it's like my foot has to be out so that way it's not cramped. It hurt so bad that I actually went into the doctor to get x-rays because I thought I broke it.
Well,
So it hurt. But other than that,
I know that feeling. Because now I got tendonitis in my left knee. That's because I fell on it years ago. I have to be, I have to be so careful.
yeah, I have
Especially
arthritis.
how and all that.
I have arthritis in my knees. I dislocated my knee when I was in junior high school.
Mhm.
So it kind of did some fun stuff to my knee. So I
That's what
completely understand what you're going through. 100%.
I kind of take that after my mom.
Okay.
Because my mom used to have rheumatism arthritis.
Oh, okay.
And it make their fingers curled up.
Yeah.
And then usually times I would have to help her back in the days. And I used to have to help her with her feet because her fingers were just so swollen and
Hmm.
they was swole up. And I would look and I would see her toes, how they would just curl up.
Hmm.
And so, it never bothered me to do that for her.
Yeah.
Because I was just helping her. That's all I was
Yeah.
doing. I'm just doing the best I can for her.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like now they have medicine now that prevents like the curled joints
Right.
for the rheumatoid arthritis, but I don't know. It's the fact that the process to get diagnosed with that is hard.
It is. She went when I had to go to a doctor many years ago, just for a physical. And so my mom was in the room with me at the time.
Yeah.
And then when the doctor got through doing his physical, I said, "Can you check my knee for me?" He said, "Sure." He said, "What's wrong with it?" And I said, "I'm not sure." I said, I fell on it. And he said, how did you fall on it?" I said, "I fell on the concrete." And I said, he said, "Well," he said, "son," he said, "can you tell me a little bit more? How did it happen?" I said, "Well, all I know is I was walking home, listening to somebody." I said, "The concrete was wet. And when I fell down, it bent my knee all the way back towards where my back was." He said, "Ooh," he said, "I bet that does hurt." I said, "Yes, it does." And I wanted to say the nurse was in the room with him, with us. And she started feeling on it to see if there's anything, broken or anything like a torn cartilage or anything. But she said, "Well," she said, "I really don't feel anything broken at all." And my mom said, "Well," she said, "I have arthritis." And the nurse says, "Well," she said, "I don't know if your son has arthritis." She said, "But he might have tendonitis
Mm-hmm.
in that knee." But every time I would walk, I used to have a friend that worked at a school, and I used to love to go hang out with him after school hours and just talk to the guy. So I would walk, and it was like just takes a few minutes to walk uh, down the school to the school. So I would walk, and when I walked, my knee felt like it was pushing out, like it was so It was very, very painful.
Mhm.
It felt like it's trying to lock in place. And when it locked, it was quite painful. And that's and I thought, yeah, I need to see the doctor. But back then I couldn't go to a doctor because I was I was afraid.
Yeah.
I was
I ended
afraid.
up.
And,
I dealt with knee issues since junior high when I got my kneecap dislocated, and then right before I was supposed to get married, so I was still on because I was going to school, so I was still under my parents' insurance. So I went to a doctor because literally my knee would lock up, like literally it would lock up and it would be stuck. And the only way that I could get it to unlock was literally because it locked when it was bent. So the only way that I could get it to unlock was literally fall over
wow.
to get it to unlock. Because the process of me falling over
Right.
bumped enough to get it to unlock itself. So I ended up having to have surgery on it to prevent that. And he goes, when he did the surgery, he couldn't believe all the damage that was done on my knee because I had the 4 scope holes. So they did arthroscopic, and then I had an incision on the inside of my knee. And he goes, "Oh, I found some bone fragments embedded in your muscle." And it was from when I dislocated my knee. It never showed up on the x-rays that there was bone fragments embedded in my muscle and that they had to remove them. I mean, it wasn't doing anything. It was just there.
Right.
But, eventually it could do something because it's bone.
Right.
Bone's bone. Bone regenerates eventually. But who knows when those bone fragments split. So I'm not supposed to do any high impact, so I'm not supposed to run. I'm not supposed to do long walks because it's hard on my knees. So it's like ride a bike, do elliptical, can't do stairs. I'm not supposed to do stairs, but I live in a tri-level house. But what can you do? I mean, I would rather have a life and have a house than to worry about the stairs or not. If it gets to the point where I can't get around, I'll just slide down the stairs on my behind just to get where I need to get. I mean, I don't, I'm to the point where, you get to the point where when it comes, it comes,
Right.
when it gets to the point where I can't walk, oh well, but I'm sure going to keep trying until I absolutely can't. It's one of those things. It's like, I'm not going to give up. Yeah, some days may hurt to move, to walk, but I'm still going to do it. I'm that stubborn.
That's the same thing with me. See, I keep running my knee. And I used to be in a play, and it was outside. And it was real fun what I would have to do. But during that time, I couldn't run on my knee because if I ran on my knee, tripping a hole, then it would, start all back up over again. It would be quite painful. And then the only time I go upstairs is at my brother's house to take a bath up there. But right now, I still have to wait for the plumber. So then if my sister-in-law's at home or if my brother's at home, they watch me as I come down the steps. I had to hang on to the railing, hang on the wall, and if I get into the bathtub, I had to hang on to the wall itself, so that way I don't lose my balance and then fall and really do something to the knee. But yeah, I can't I can't run no more either.
Yeah, I'm like, and people are like, oh, just go for a walk. And I'm like, if I go for a walk, I'd be in worse shape.
Mhm.
Yeah, I might be healthier,
Oh
but
yeah,
what's the difference between me being healthier or me being in excruciating pain because I'm constantly walking and losing weight, which
right,
would help because it puts less strain on your joints, is losing
right.
weight.
Mhm.
But it's the walking that, to get there that would be painful. And I mean, it's trying to explain to people that, yes, my age, I should not be having these issues,
Right.
but that was how I was born because I have
Mhm.
hip dysplasia. So my hip bones, instead of being straight, they're like this. Hold on. Like this. So they're turned
Mhm.
in. So pretty much everything from my hip down is not in alignment how it's supposed to.
Mhm.
So it looks, yeah, my knee looks straight,
Mhm.
but it's not. It's not aligned with my hip bone, so it
Mhm.
puts strain on that. And then if my hip bones are like this, they
Mhm.
they they move because that's not how they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be straight, and that's where they're supposed to lock in. But
Mhm.
with them being like this, they slip. So like
Mhm.
I can pop out my hip and I
Mhm.
would still have to, sometimes I can't get it back to move back where it's supposed to. So it's like I have to keep walking,
Mhm.
you know, I have to keep doing stuff.
Mhm.
I have a house, I have a kid. I have two kids actually, but I have a life that does
Mhm.
not, revolve around it can't revolve around what I'm going through. And even though that, some people are like, why do you keep going on? Why do you
Mhm.
keep moving? And I go, why would I want to sit and mope and complain about what I'm going through? Yeah, it hurts. So what? It hurts. I tell my husband, I'm like, I'm sore today. Okay. He goes, what do you want to do? Do you want to
Mhm.
sit today? Go, no, I got the dishes to do. I got laundry to do. I got, the vacuuming to do. I got to make
Yep.
dinner. And it's like, I have stuff that I have to get done. I can't sit and just, I have to go to the store because we ran out of something, And it's like, you can't, some people are like, oh, I can't do this. Can you?
Mhm.
Are you physically incapable of doing it, or is it you're choosing not to? It's like you have to decide, do I choose not to
Mhm.
do something? You can choose unless you're physically unable to do it. Like
Right.
if you can't walk at all because of previous injuries or whatever, I can completely understand that. But pain and all this other stuff, yeah, pain can be a problem, but you get to the point where you're probably going to have it the rest of your life. A lot of us have this ongoing pain for the rest of our lives, and you
Right.
have to choose if you're going to let the pain take over your life or if you're going to keep going on. And like you and I, we just keep going on. We don't care. We just adapt. We adapt to
Mhm.
make it work. Yes, some days we're a little slower
Mhm.
walking than others, especially right now.
Oh, no.
I'm like, I'm still not supposed to be on my foot, but
Mhm.
I hate crutches so bad that
Mhm.
I've been walking on it for the last 2 days
Oh my.
because I hate crutches.
Mhm.
So it's like I'm extremely slow walking. But you get to the point where you're like, what? What am I gonna do? I
Right.
can't just sit and mope and complain that my foot hurts or, my average ache and pain hurts.
Mhm.
What are you gonna do? Are you just gonna sit in bed and whine and complain and moan? People where they twist their ankle and they're moaning and whining about, oh, it hurts, it hurts. Yeah, it hurts,
Mhm.
but you can still do something. You can
Right.
still, even if it's like folding laundry, you can fold laundry from your bed.
Yep, that's
You
true.
can do something from your bed.
Yep.
There's stuff that you can do.
That's right.
I know everybody hates it, but you could pay bills from your bed.
Yep.
You know? So, I mean, it's people that complain, oh, I'm hurting today.
Mhm.
They're complaining, oh, I'm sore today. Like, I've seen Pink. Pink has a ton of problems walking because of her joints and she's having joint issues and all this. And I see her walking and it's like, I'm so happy that she's actually moving and going on, and it's not, yeah, she has bad days and she says that she has bad days, but she doesn't let it stop her.
Mhm.
And it's like, you know Lady Tanya, she, busted her foot, but she still had to take care of her husband. She
Mhm.
still took care of her husband and dealt with that and kept going and did not let it stop her. Yeah, she was in a wheelchair, but she sure didn't stop doing what she was doing.
Oh.
It's like you can tell certain people like can't handle certain
Mhm.
things. So it's like funny. Sorry, I didn't mean to get on a soapbox there.
Oh no. Yeah.
I hate it when I do that. I get like on my soapbox. It's like
Bob
it's like
Ross was saying, I'll get off my soapbox now.
But all right, I gotta get going. It's 5 o'clock here,
Okay.
and I need to figure out what I'm gonna make for dinner and see what mess my son made in the living room with all his Transformers.
Mhm.
He has a jumbo box of Transformers, and he absolutely loves the old school Transformers. So like the Generation One, I don't from like the 80s, I think it was 80s, late 70s is when
Mhm.
it came out. But he loves them, and he loves the whole entire series and even the movies and everything else to go with it. So he has like them all stacked up in their Transformer mode, and they're fighting each other, and
Wow.
so I have to go see what mess he made.
What man?
you know, who, which Transformer won certain fights, that type of thing. But thank you for having me up. I appreciate it, and hopefully we can do this again.
You're welcome in time, Heather.
All right, I'll
Mm.
talk to you later. Bye, Mark.
Bye bye, Heather. Okay, I'm gonna be right back, folks. I'm gonna go get me some water, and I'll be right back. Okay. If anyone else like to come up, they can. Okay. Well, I'm still live. If anybody else like to come up. Drinking me some bottled water. So that's the kind of water I'm drinking. Just, plain old bottled water. Okay, I had, so, sorry about that. Okay, y'all saw my person I had up on my panel, and it's Heather. And so anyway, I'm still going. I'm going to go live again tonight. I'm probably going to be. Excuse me. I'm going to do a painting. A painting, and when I go live, it'll probably be about 10. Probably about 10 p.m. 10 p.m. And that's Central Time. Central Time. 10 p.m. Central Time. And, so I don't want to end the stream just yet because about 1 hour into the live stream. But we'll see if anybody else will come into the down on the. All you have to do is scroll up to the top, and the link is there. The top of the top of the live there. In my background so I can see. Okay, let me show you guys something. Okay. Okay, so here's what I was coloring. Okay. Let you guys read that. That's found in Proverbs. Proverbs, I love Psalms, excuse me. I love Psalms. And Psalms is I love Psalms. So that's one of the things I was working on, and that's found in Psalm 65:8. I must got a tickle in my throat. But anyway, that's in Psalms. What is it? Oh, Psalm 65:8. That's what it's in. Yeah. If I have a question or something, let me know about art, and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. I was working on that painting, and let's see. Gotta get me some more canvases, or probably for my class. I only got one canvas left for my class. Just to say that for my class. Good. And this this thing I'm coloring, yeah, kind of reminds me like a peacock. You ever seen a peacock? Let me see. Okay, what I'm gonna do. This-